All right, we're on to week 6. Week 6 already. Nice little Wednesday night matchup. This game was postponed. Supposed to be played last week due to the weather. UCF decided to postpone this game to Wednesday. We got SMU traveling to take on Central Florida. Seeing the Knights at home, laying 3 and a pretty high total at 63.5. This number's at 63.5 strictly because of pace. And if it weren't for pace, I probably would be on this under. I have concerns about how both these offenses are going to fare in this matchup. I'll start the home team, UCF. With them, it really starts with John Rice Plumlee. I don't believe in him as a thrower whatsoever. I don't really care how he looked through the air against South Carolina State and Florida Atlantic, against Louisville, against Georgia Tech. He was a liability through the air as a quarterback. And, there's probably a reason why he didn't figure in back during his time at Ole Miss. He's just not a very good passer. He is good with his legs, and that element can kind of break a game open. There is some variance there, but I don't believe in John Rice Plumlee as a thrower. From there, I think UCF's offensive line has underperformed this year, specifically in the run blocking category. Isaiah Bowser just hasn't gotten going yet. Under 4 yards per carry left. The talent he is, that shouldn't be the case. So I have concerns about multiple areas about UCF's offense. This isn't the toughest matchup, though. SMU's defense, aside from being able to get after the quarterback, their back seven is pretty attackable. So something's got to give here. The SMU side, they're running at one of the fastest paces in the country at this point. But with that said, their offense is not as good as people think it is. I mean, Tanner Mordecai is an experienced player, but he's under 8 yards per attempt this year. He was only at 8 yards per attempt last year, and probably more so than that. He's really just got one receiver in Rice. They've lost quite a bit of receiver talent here over the last few years. After Rice, I don't really like what they have in that wide receiver room. Just not much established there at this point. They haven't been great running the football either. They've been better than UCF and Isaiah Bowser, and they do have a better offensive line than UCF as well. But this is the toughest matchup SMU's offense will have had to face all year. I mean, going on the road at Maryland's defense, as much as I like their offense, Terps don't have very good defense. TCU's defense, I think over the second half of this season, will get exposed. So they haven't necessarily played the stiffest competition yet. I mean, from a power rating standpoint, this UCF defense is top 30 in the country. They've got a reliable secondary, and they can get after the quarterback as well. I don't think they'll necessarily be able to do so going up against this SMU offensive line. But this is no slouch of a defense in UCF. It's funny because everybody thinks of UCF from the, Josh Heupel days is this high-flying offense, and they're going to play a lot of high-scoring games. I don't necessarily think that's the case. If it wasn't for the fact that I do have concerns about pace, keeping this game under the total, I'd be on the under here. As far as the side, I do think SMU's better in the trenches. I do think they have the better quarterback. I think there's more elements for them to create explosive plays. Once again, though, the quarterback run can really flip a game on its head. I mean, let's not forget, John Rice Plumlee almost single-handedly beat that 2019 LSU team via his legs alone. So I do worry about that a little bit. The pace is going to keep me off the under. If I had to play a side, I'd play SMU, but just given I'm not too high on some of their skill position players on their offense, this is a tough defense to go against. So I'm going to lay off of this game. At the end of the day, I know it's a standalone Wednesday night game. This is not a game, 2-3 months from now, I'm going to lose sleep over not betting it. So I'm going to lay off of this game, lean under, lean SMU as the road dog, but ultimately no play for me here.